And on the go, this is Valley News Live at 10.
We're following a developing story out of Richland County as community members are still awaiting answers regarding an investigation into alleged sexual assault allegations made last month toward a group of 10th grade boys over a so-called rape game.
The first school board meeting since the allegations surfaced has wrapped up, and officials are announcing that a private investigation is underway. Valley News Team's Emily Young was at the meeting tonight and joins us live in the studio with details. Emily?
Mike, Andrea, plenty of angry parents and upset taxpayers attended the meeting wanting to know what the school's plan is and why the investigation is taking so long. Officially, the school board has just passed a motion to have an independent investigation conducted. School board officials say these investigators will have an all-access pass to the school in order to get down to the who, what, where, when, and why.
It's incumbent upon us as school board members to make sure none of this, if it did happen or if it didn't, how we got to this point. And I can't reiterate enough how important I think it is to have an independent investigator come in.
The investigator will be determined by the school's legal counsel and the financial negotiation team. The school board entered into an executive discussion, which we were all forbidden from entering, and they are expected to continue that executive session tomorrow. For some perspective, the rape game involves lights supposedly being turned off, and the victim is held down and violated. For now, the Sheriff's County investigation continues, and sources tell me that the students are still suspended at home, and some families have lawyered up. Mike?
All right, thanks, Emily. A whistleblower told Valley News Live that the school suspended 5 students in connection with these allegations. Stick with Valley News Live for updates on this story.
Temps warmed up nicely today, and that should continue into Valentine's Day tomorrow. Hutch is here to warm our hearts with a forecast for tonight. Hutch?
Yeah, pretty quiet weather as we go through the overnight hours. And in fact, temperatures that are in the 20s will stay there for a few hours yet before we'll dip into the teens. And that's where you start your morning. It'll still be a little breezy, but the wind does decrease as we get towards the morning hours. At the bus stop in the morning, teens with light wind, and the rest of your forecast for your Valentine's Day will be coming up, but it does get warm. I'll have details on that and a sharp change back towards wintry weather in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Hutch.
As we've all heard, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. A local man raised eyebrows after his wife got a check in the mail at her work for nearly $20,000.
What he did next with that check doesn't follow our typical scam story. In fact, as Valley News Team's Christine Stanwood tells us, he did the right thing.
Last week, my wife got an email saying she was going to get a special thing in the mail.
You may have heard a similar story.
She didn't open the email because she thought it'd be just kind of you get these all the time.
Like this one before.
Yesterday at her office, she got this letter, priority mail, and inside it,
instructions from a secret shopping scheme.
It's got a cashier's check for $1,980. You spend $270, you get to keep the rest of this money.
Except this time,
return it to them or whatever, and that's it.
It didn't fool this man.
Supposedly.
Robert Schneck, who lives near Hillsboro, says he listened to Valley News Live.
We hear about that from you guys, people getting scammed or whatever, and this is just one more variation.
He called the Better Business Bureau after calling the sheriff's office.
Here's the thing, we see secret shopping schemes all the time.
So we brought it to the BBB. Their reaction, priceless.
Some of these scams come through and they're just despicable.
Heather All found quite a few.
My first thought is, that's not legitimate. Done.
Let's just say red flags.
We've seen previous ones, but to have it in my hands is interesting to me. When I feel the check, it feels like a regular piece of paper. There's no address. There's the name of a bank, but it's not centered. It says it's security, but there's no security feature to that.
All says Schneck did the right thing.
He absolutely did. Call us or call somebody and say, this doesn't seem right.
I really want to come on TV? No, but if it helps somebody, I'll do it.
Yeah, this storybook scam.
And you are expressly forbidden to disclose this information to anybody.
Has been rewritten.
Oops. Oops.
In Fargo, Christine Stanwood, Valley News Live.
After reviewing Sheck's fraudulent check, Heather with the BBB will place the information into their system called Scam Tracker Database. If you want to see the scams that are happening in real time in our area, we've attached a link to it with this story on our website, valleynewslive.com.
Not once since this issue has surfaced have I heard the board say, "We hear you." Not once have I heard you say, "We are listening."
Many parents from Woodhaven and Point West developments in Fargo are upset over possible school boundary changes. They came out in full force tonight to relay their concerns to the Fargo School Board.
As Valley News Team's Veronica Marshall found out, the proposed changes aren't parents' only concerns.
The Fargo School Board's meeting room was packed with parents. A majority of them came to show solidarity against the board's proposals to shift boundary lines in South Fargo should overcrowding become an issue in the future.
For all of those that may be thinking there's something immediately on the horizon, the answer is no, there isn't. Is there most likely going to be a need to figure out how to address growth in Southside Fargo? Absolutely.
We appreciate being included at the early stages of the discussion.
But soon, the speakers started addressing their concerns about the board itself, issues including the board's transparency.
Quite frankly, the actions of the board since this information has been available suggests everything but a commitment to being transparent.
Responsiveness.
I've emailed all of you an outline of option 8 boundary proposal, and I've gotten one response.
And attitude.
I, as well as many others, are extremely frustrated by the board's attempt to deflect the importance of the existence of these proposals and to continually suggest that we are overreacting.
In response, School Board President Jim Johnson says the board plans to have any and all discussions regarding boundaries in a public setting.
I can assure you this board is committed to transparency and public input, and both of those will be front and center when and if we have an issue of boundaries to adjust.
In Fargo, Veronica Marshall, Valley News Live.
As we've reported, the boundary changes are all extremely preliminary at this time. You can find a link to those proposed plans on our website, valleynewslive.com.
Here's one appointment that left doctors flabbergasted. A patient who felt a squiggle in her eye pulled out worms, over a dozen of them. That's later on Valley News Live at 10.
More burglaries in Fargo-Moorhead, including one woman trying to solve her case.